We have only asked one question for decades more than any other time you look at the sky at night. Is it just us? And despite science providing patterns, clues, and probabilities, to which no one responded until now because 120 light-years away, in the orbit of a frigid red dwarf, there is a planet in the Leo constellation so strange and strangely similar that it compels scientists to reconsider everything. It is known as K2-18B. Furthermore, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, we may have just captured the most convincing evidence yet of alien life recorded: atoms of carbon, water vapor, dimethyl sulfide, a substance that, on Earth, only living things can make organisms. This is not a fantasy anymore. This is true. This is evidence. And this may be the time we've all been waiting for. K2-18B is not simply another exoplanet in an enigmatic region of the galaxy. It's something significantly different, a Hycean world, a very rare kind of planet that is both an atmosphere rich in hydrogen and a vast global ocean beneath it. It is bigger than Earth, about 2.6 times larger and nearly 9 times its weight. But it sits in the ideal location, the habitable area of its star, in an area where temperatures may permit the existence of liquid water. And that alters everything. Contrary to the cold, dry wastelands of Mars or the fiery gas giants the size of Jupiter, this planet is covered with a protective layer of hydrogen that holds heat, keeps the surface at a cool temperature, prevents water from radiation, and has very similar circumstances to the early Earth. However, it was not until the James Webb Telescope aimed its instruments at the planet that the mystery deepened. Webb thrives in its environment, not only detecting water vapor but also finding carbon and methane present dioxide, two crucial components in the formula for success. It was already astonishing, but what came next was historic. In 2025, the James Webb's MIRI instrument returned readings that astonished the scholarly community. Together with water and carbon compounds, it discovered a trace signature of dimethyl sulfide, or DMS. Why is that important? Because, on Earth, DMS is only produced by living organisms, particularly marine phytoplankton. It's a gas that enters the atmosphere by minuscule organisms in the ocean, which we have never discovered on another planet before. To make it even more shocking, scientists also found traces of dimethyl disulfide, or DMDS, another molecule connected to oceanic biological activity on Earth. These molecules didn't appear randomly. They appeared together in the same area on a planet that already has a lot of water vapor and carbon chemistry. This is not a random statistical coincidence anymore. Cambridge astrophysicist Niku Madhusudan, who led the research, called it a turning point in the search for life. For the first time in human history, we're not just seeing planets where life might exist. We're detecting the molecules that, on Earth, are exclusively produced by it. The discovery of DMS and DMDS on K2-18B raises the biggest question of all: what kind of life might be there? Some scientists say K2-18B may mirror ancient Earth before plants, animals, or even life on multiple planets existed, a world where marine microorganisms dominate, thriving in nutrient-rich oceans, absorbing light from a dim red sun. Some go even further, imagining life forms that filter their food and move slowly beneath the surface, or organisms adapted to the planet's lower gravity and higher pressure, possibly even capable of limited atmospheric movement. In this view, K2-18B isn't just biologically active. It might be developing or forming ecosystems unlike any we have witnessed. It is not Earth today, but Earth as it was 3 to 4 billion years ago when the oceans first formed, alive but silent as photosynthesis had just begun to alter our environment forever. And it's possible that's what we're now watching, not merely existence on another world, but the moment it woke up. As excitement builds, a new debate is gaining ground, one that divides philosophers, scientists, and governments alike. Now that we have signs of life, should we endeavor to make contact? Physicist Mark Buchanan has warned that actively reaching out could be harmful. What if K2-18B is home to more than microbes? What if we interfere with a fragile biosphere or, worse, alert a civilization we're not ready to face? Avi and others like him hold the contrary, that a higher form of life would already know we are here. They'd have picked up on our signals, our satellites, our technology long ago. And if they haven't done anything yet, perhaps they never will. However, there is one certainty. A signal would take 120 years to reach K2-18B and another 120 to return. Whatever we decide, we won't get a response in our lifetime. Not only can we send a message, but we must also act on what we now know. The moment the James Webb data became public, the whole world stopped. News outlets published breaking news stories worldwide. The hashtags #K2-18B and #OceanOfAliens erupted on social media. We are not on our own. Scientists had live interviews on television during prime time. And for the first time, headlines didn't talk about scandal, politics, or conflict, but a single question that brought us all together: were we just given life? Academic institutions initiated. Space agencies, including private companies, ESA and NASA companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, quietly accelerated plans for the next generation of probes and telescopes. There were rumors of upcoming missions, AI, and concepts for interstellar sails, capsules with powered messages. Meanwhile, inquisitive students flooded the classroom, students who inquire about physics, biology, and Rome. K2-18B had done what few things ever have. It made us feel like we were part of something bigger. However, despite the wonder, an unsettling idea was getting worse. Life, if it exists, and if it isn't unique, what does that imply regarding us? Having discovered potential biosignatures on K2-18B, the age-old Fermi paradox returned with renewed vigor. If the cosmos is full of such planets, where is everybody? Researchers have discovered more than 5,500 exoplanets so far. Most of them are rough. Dozens lie within their stars' habitable zones. And now, with K2-18B showing signs of possible life, one terrifying hypothesis gains traction: the cosmos is not silent. We just arrived late. Maybe other civilizations existed and vanished before us. Maybe they didn't survive their own discoveries. Maybe the transition from microbial life to intelligent life is riskier than we anticipated, a slender bridge that few cross. Or maybe life is everywhere but chooses not to speak. If K2-18B presently supports microbial life, that's one thing. However, if we find complex systems, biospheres, or even hints of intelligent patterns, silence is no longer an acceptable mystery. A message is in it. And that message could be: you're not alone. You won't be the last, but you must not speak too soon. K2-18B isn't just teaching us about the cosmos. It is forcing us to revise our biology itself. Life on Earth depends on water, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. But the atmosphere on K2-18B is full of hydrogen, not oxygen. And that alters everything. Are there organisms that take in hydrogen? Is photosynthesis possible under a red sun? Can evolution take a route we've never considered? Currently, biochemists are studying extremophiles, life forms on Earth that thrive in radiation, acid, and even vacuum. These organisms, once thought exceptions, may now serve as examples for how life can develop elsewhere. And that opens the door to a terrifying possibility. We may have already encountered alien biology but did not acknowledge it. Crystals, signals, rocks, microstructures, and meteorites. What if there are no green, glowing indicators of life but subtle, coded, and untranslatable by our current science? K2-18 billion reminds us that life may not look like us. It may not think like us, but it's waiting out there. Before K2-18B, we looked into space with curiosity. Now we examine it with responsibility. If life exists, then Earth is no longer the axis of biology. We are not the uncommon exception. We are a chapter, not the entire story. Psychologists and philosophers have already raised the issue of the shock as they refer to the cosmic trauma of realizing we are not unique. Religions are rethinking their origin stories. World leaders are discussing the impact of discovery on geopolitics. And educators are scrambling to prepare the next generation for a world in which Earth may be only one living sphere among billions. Some people are astonished, others feel fear, but no one feels indifferent anymore. Since the James Webb Telescope looked into K2-18B's colored clouds, it saw more than just molecules. It saw a mirror not of what we are, but of what we could become. For centuries, we believed we were alone, a lonely spark of life drifting in a pitch-black ocean. But K2-18B altered that. It did not yell. It didn't flash. It simply whispered something we've always suspected: life is not unique to Earth. What the James Webb Space Telescope just captured is more than a scientific breakthrough. It's a momentous event in human history, a silent confirmation, a mirror, and a signal that the universe is not silent. It's teeming, breathing, becoming. Now what? We don't just want to know if we're alone. We want to know who and what else is out there when they were there, and if they are looking back at us, wondering the same. This no longer concerns a faraway planet with bizarre chemistry. This concerns us concerning who we are, who we have been, and who we may become if we choose to listen. Because in K2-18B's clouds, wrapped in hydrogen and time, we may have just discovered the solution we've been chasing since the beginning of time. Not evidence of aliens, but evidence of possibility. It's your turn now. Do you believe we've just witnessed the first definite indication of life beyond Earth, or is there more to come, even greater? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more cosmic developments that are altering our place in all of existence. And remember, sometimes the universe doesn't yell, it waits. And when you're ready, it whispers back.